Well, welcome to a new Team CGC 9.8 video. So today's video is going to be a special one. I got my new CGC 9.8 comic book in. But yeah, not just any CGC 9.8 Blue Label comic. No, this one actually, it's my first signature series CGC 9.8 comic book. But it's also my first Canadian price variant CGC 9.8 comic book. Yeah, two of the, groups of comic books that I don't really hunt out or search out at all. But it just kind of came together, and it was almost meant to be that I could purchase this comic book for a pretty reasonable price. And yeah, we'll definitely get into all the details in the video. And this comic book, I was hunting for it, and I recommended it in our video that we did a couple days ago about high potential CGC 9.8 comic books. So check that video out if you want. But, yeah, one I was hunting in the Blue Label, and then this one popped up in Canada at a reasonable price. As I said, it was kind of just meant to be, I think. And this book is super rare, so we gotta get into it. Let's just get right into it. I'll show you. Can't wait to show you this one. Yeah, so first signed book, first Canadian price variant, and yeah, I do want to talk about sort of Blue Label versus Signature Series again, kind of at the end of the video, and then maybe figure out, like, was it all worth it, to pay the extra money that it cost to get this rare one over, like, a Blue Label one. Came with a Mylar sleeve, too, if you can hear all that correctly there. But, newest edition of the collection. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures #1 in the CGC 9.8 white pages. This is the Canadian priced variant, and it's signed and sketched by Kevin Eastman, the creator of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Got a really cool sign and sketch right here in gold marker. Probably would have been better if it was in silver. You maybe would have been able to see it better, but in the flesh you can kind of see it really good. It's sort of right along Leonardo's sword here. Really cool sign and sketch by Kevin Eastman, one of the creators of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We'll kind of go into the whole scenario of how I bought this, but let's look on the census really quick. Like, it's so exciting. So this is the Canadian price variant, a signed edition. There's only 2 of these in the CGC 9.8 on the planet. Yeah, so 1 of 2 here. I did look on the census when I saw the eBay listing and obviously got really excited. We'll get into the whole scenario, but yeah, the 9.8 ratio, there's only 2 graded ever, 1 of 2, so it's 100%. Both of the ones that were graded that are signed Canadian price variants are already a really rare book. So, talk about price. Okay, yeah, an interesting, be pretty honest here about how the price went, because, and all US dollars we'll talk about in here, but I ended up paying $410, and so as I said, this was a book that I was hunting in the Blue Label, so doing a lot of searches in the Blue Label, and doing those searches, this popped up, and it was only on eBay for about, maybe 4 or 6 hours or something like that. It hadn't been on eBay very long. Already getting a lot of watchers. Like, you could tell eBay sends you all those warnings, like, oh, 20 people have watched this in the past 24 hours or something. So it was a very hot book, only on eBay for a little bit of time. So right away, sent a competitive offer. It was around $375, I would say. So it was $410 or best offer. So obviously you'll see where this is going. Already telling you I paid $410, but sent a $375 offer. Waited for kind of an hour, nothing back. Waited for kind of 2 hours, no sort of offer back yet, nothing. More watchers, and the listing getting more popular. This being looked on the census by then, got really excited. Wow, it's a 1 of 2. Like, oh my god. So you know what? Because I thought I was going to get sniped and he wasn't getting back to me, so I ended up just paying the full price and foregoing the negotiation, I guess. Because, I just thought, what's, an extra $30, $40 to get a 1 of 2, an extremely rare collector item, a book that I've been really hunting and wanting. So, yeah, kind of something I wouldn't really recommend doing. You want to be patient sometimes, but I think when I looked on the census, it's such a rare book. It's probably going to be so hard to find one of these. So, again, didn't really think about sweating the extra $40 or $50 or whatever it might have been that I could have saved. But so happy, regardless of if I got it for $375 or $410. So happy that I got this comic book. So yeah, like even in the blue label, like this is the first appearance of Krang, Bebop, and Rocksteady. So all these just classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles villains that if you watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon in the late 80s as a kid, that's how you sort of remember the Ninja Turtles for me. Like the nostalgia-wise is the four-colored Ninja Turtles with, yeah, certainly April and Splinter, April with her yellow digs, and Bebop, Krang, and Rocksteady as the villains. Yeah, I think in the blue label, you know, I think I was hunting it in the blue label, and obviously I got mostly blue labels, and I just think it's a great kind of underfollowed book that, in the blue label, good price is going to be about $125. Some completed listings around $175 I've seen as well. So I think anywhere, you know, $125 lower end of the range, getting up to like $200 in the blue label. CGC 9.8 for a really good looking one, I think is a decent deal. So, you know, I think, you know, say this wasn't the Canadian price variant and it was just, you know, signed by Kevin Eastman. You know, I think that would probably go for in the $300 range. You know, maybe if you got a good deal on it, $250. But for this to be the Canadian price variant makes it even more rare, and that one of two on the census was, you know, something that when I saw it just made me want the comic a lot, obviously. Yeah, and such a cool cover too, great colors. So, extremely excited to get a one of two, so rare. You know, yeah, definitely, I don't think, I have a one of one, it's actual Vampire Tales number 7, CGC 9.8, that's a one of one still. But that's not really a key issue. Like, this is a key issue with some great first appearances, and is a one of two in the CGC 9.8, signed by Kevin Eastman. Yeah, and the case is flawless. Yeah, new case, flawless. Had a good look at it before I brought it on camera. Just an amazing book. Like, it's definitely a higher grade 9.8. It's perfectly centered, perfect flat white pages. The seller may have been the original owner and may have gotten it signed and original. It could have been all him, to be honest. Yeah. So boiled it down here to 3 reasons why I ended up just purchasing the book here. Yeah. So the first reason, you know, I was already hunting the blue label, and this one pops up, reasonable price. So it just kind of made sense that because I don't really hunt these signature series books, so. It just made sense, though, and seemed kind of normal. It seemed like a natural thing that made sense. Especially with Canadian price variants, you always see the prices, they're just super expensive. I know for Batman comics, Canadian price variant Batman comics of the era, I've really considered buying. And a lot of those just seem to be always over $500 in the blue label. So, yeah, from that perspective too, like with just given my past experience in pricing, I thought for Canadian price variants, it was a reasonable price. Yeah, given it's signed too. And yeah, so the first reason, I was already hunting the blue label. Second reason, yeah, reasonable price for a signed Canadian price variant. I think that the seller of this book could have easily put it on eBay for like $800 or best offer, and you know, let it sit there for a while, and maybe some guy would come along and pay like $600 for this book or something like that. But a reasonable price, so yeah, again, that was another reason why it really made sense. And then, third reason, one of two, I got really excited about that, and, you know, a book I already wanted, and to just get such a rare version of the book in a one of two. And, you know, Eastman too, like, he's the creator of the Ninja Turtles, so to just have him sign the book, and he did the cover here with Peter Laird too, so this is an Eastman cover. Yeah, from 1988, this book here. So, extremely excited to have this comic book, and yeah, just concluding up. So, you know, thinking about like kind of was it worth it, because I do kind of want to compare it to a blue label really quick here, because you know, obviously this is like a one of two. It cost $410. A blue label, if you're patient, probably get it for about $125, $135. Yeah, there's been a couple of completed listings for that price in the blue label. So, is this worth, you know, 3-4 times more the price than a blue label? I think, you know, this is a good example, actually, of how you maybe can add a Canadian price variant or a signed book to your comic book collection. because it's hard to get deals on them, is like just honest truth. So, what I would recommend is kind of, it's easier to get deals on Blue Label. If you're more patient on Blue Labels, you get really good prices for all your Blue Label books. That would be great. And then every now and then, for a Blue Label book that you're watching, you see an auction pop up for a book like this, or a reasonably priced thing, or a best offer, or something like that for a book. And then you can go after maybe a little bit more rare signature Canadian price. That's my style, I would think, and maybe what, I would recommend going to do, because, yeah, you can get a Blue Label book for a lot cheaper, and this is a good example of that, the Blue Label being about $125. This one being $410. So yeah, was it worth it in the end? I think, like, from a pride of ownership perspective, only having this for like a day, but I think in this scenario, because I got the reasonable price, it is worth it. But again, yeah, a lot of times, like, I probably wouldn't have paid $600 American for this comic book, and a lot of times Canadian price variants, especially rare signed ones like this, making it even more in the CGC 9.8. Everything I tend to see is like $800 or $900 or best offer, and then for the Batman ones I've attempted to get for like about $400 before, they're like insta rejected. People are trying to get over $500, and those are Blue Label non-key issue Batman comics where there's like just a couple Canadian price variants on the census. So thought it made sense, just given my experience with Canadian price variants and the prices, and I think it's a good experience and an example for anyone out there who maybe wants to take that approach with signed books and Canadian price variant books, is just add them when you're looking for a book that you really want, and then maybe you see an auction that you could get a good deal on it, and because you do want to get a decent deal. I think it's whether you're getting a Blue Label or a signature series book, it's always better for sort of pride of ownership to get a decent deal and be patient. But yeah, for this book, just sort of naturally happening. I was looking for the Blue Label, doing my Blue Label searches, saw this pop up, and then, you kind of go from there. But if it's a reasonable price, I think that's a way. And, there's collectors out there that are signature series collectors, and I totally get that. Or Canadian price variant specialists, I get that. So if that's your thing, you're probably buying a lot of these more so. But I like the Blue Labels. I really like to just have the original book. A lot of them are already signed, on the cover by the artist when they originally did the cover kind of thing. So I just really like to have that, like, newsstand fresh CGC 9.8, no signatures, Blue Label. Plus they're a little cheaper, obviously. So if you're more along the, my style of collecting, I think a great way to go get these signature series books and Canadian price variants is just to see them naturally and hunt out for those deals, and don't reach for anything is, sort of my advice. Just, be extra patient on these. And if something kind of naturally happens where you think it's a good deal and it's a rare, sweet signed book, then it probably is worth going after. And yeah, I think that's how I'll kind of move forward. I don't think I'm going to like start to get into signature series books too much, because yeah, again, I would have been really happy with $125 Blue Label CGC 9.8 white pages of this book too. So this one being $410, only 2 in the world, is a kind of a completely different ball game, but every now and then something like this makes sense, I think. So yeah, and I think in this case it did make sense, even though I forego the negotiation thing, which was kind of embarrassing. But I think again, it wasn't worth the $30 or $40 to wait and possibly it getting sniped, because it was such a $410 for this book, a 1 of 2. I just thought that's a reasonable price. Like in a buy it now, I feel like that would sell in like a week or 2 for this book. So it just made sense, and glad I pulled the trigger. And first signature series book, first Canadian price variant, and hopefully, though, I don't want this to be like, the first water gushing out and now the river's flowing and it's going to be a waterfall of me getting signature series books. I don't think that'll happen. I still really like my Blue Labels, and for those kind of reasons of just the originality and kind of that newsstand fresh comic as it came out on the first day in the comic shop, kind of recreating that feel with the CGC 9.8s is sort of one of the reasons why I really like 9.8s, actually. So Alright, if you haven't already, I invite you to join the team and subscribe to Team CGC 9.8. Yeah, I'd love to have you on our comic book collecting and comic book investing team. And click the bell to get all the latest notifications. Add me on Instagram and Twitter too. I'll have all the links in the description below. But yeah, really happy I could share this one with you guys, and happy how this all came together. Yeah, such a rare book. I'm not so used to having like these rare books, like a one of two. So yeah, it's kind of a different feeling, and I think it'll probably get better over time. And given that I think I got a decent price for it, yeah, I'm just pretty happy. And the case is flawless. Yeah, the book is flawless, perfectly centered. So a lot of great things to like about this order. So thanks so much for watching today. Yeah, I really appreciate the support from everyone, and message me on Instagram if you have any questions about comic books. Yeah, having some great conversations on Instagram with the team. Thanks for watching today. I'll see you on the next video.